Hello learners! In this video, we will be discussing about the analysis of the story The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. So for this video, we will have the summary first, and then we will proceed to the elements of the story, starting with first, characters, second, plot, third, elements of plot, fourth, conflict, fifth, setting, sixth, point of view, seventh, irony, eight, symbolism, and nine, theme. All right, let us start with the summary. In the story The Necklace, it tells us about a couple, Madame Loisel and Mr. Loisel. We have a husband who is thoughtful and loving and supportive, and he works as a clerk. He works as a clerk in the Ministry of Public Instruction. And then we also have this character, Madame Loisel or Mathilde Loisel, who is very unhappy with her life. So she has always been unhappy with her life. She has always been dreaming of material things, and she wanted to live beyond their means. Now, this is something that she regrets herself because she could have married someone who is more wealthy, who could give her all the luxuries in life. But she ended up marrying a person who is just a clerk at the Ministry of Public Instruction. And then the third character, we have Madame Forrester. Madame Forrester is a wealthy woman and she is a friend to Mathilde Loisel. So in the story, it began with Mr. Loisel went home and bringing an invitation to a ball. So he was thinking that by bringing that invitation to the ball, he would be able to make his wife happy because he thought that his wife has not been going out for quite some time, so this might be the chance that she will be happy. But instead of being happy, she got angry. She got angry because she complained that she had no dress to wear and she would look so ugly with going to the ball. So, Mr. Loisel, being a husband who is loving and supportive, tried to please her by saying that she has a lovely dress that she has worn before, and when she was not satisfied with that, he even offered his last savings just to buy her a dress. She was able to buy a dress, but then later on she complained that she had no jewelry to wear. And with that, Mr. Loisel suggested that why not borrow jewelry from her wealthy friend, Madame Forrester, in which Madame Loisel was very happy with the suggestion, and so she did. She went to Madame Forrester to borrow jewelry. Madame Forrester, being a generous friend, supportive friend, and a happy-go-lucky person, accommodated Madame Loisel. So Madame Loisel presented her sentiments of wanting to have something to wear to the ball. So Madame Forrester let her choose what she wanted to wear. And Madame Loisel was able to choose a diamond necklace in which she wore that night at the ball. So when they were at the ball, she looked very beautiful. She socialized with the people present at the party, and both of them enjoyed the party. They even went home at early in the morning. It was only then when they went home that they realized that the necklace was gone. So when they realized this, they were at panic. What Mr. Loisel did was he went to trace all of the places that they had gone through, hoping that he would find the necklace. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to find the necklace. So it was their problem now. Now, because of that, at first, Mr. Loisel suggested that why not just confront Madame Forrester and tell her about the truth about losing the necklace. But Matilde or Madame Loisel did not want that to happen. So what they did was they tried to replace the necklace. And by trying to replace the necklace, which they bought a real diamond necklace, and it cost them a lot. So Mr. Loisel supported Madame Loisel so much. Fast forward, they were able to buy the necklace as a replacement for the lost necklace, and they returned it to Madame Forrester without telling her about the truth. But then the consequence was that they suffered for 10 years by repaying all their debts just to satisfy their need to buy that replacement. And after 10 years, Matilde, or Madame Loisel, who was then beautiful, became so haggard and she looked so old because of the stress that she has suffered for 10 years. So one day, Matilde, or Madame Loisel, saw Madame Forrester at the park. So she approached her. And Madame Forrester did not recognize her because she looked so different. She was uglier than before. And Madame Forrester did not even believe that it was someone she knew. But Matilde said, "No, this is Matilde. I am Matilde." And Madame Forrester was so confused what happened to her. But Matilde said, "This is all your fault." So Madame Forrester was so shocked that why was it her fault? It was only then that Matilde, or Madame Loisel, confessed to her about what really happened, that she replaced the necklace. And it was a shock to Madame Forrester because from her end, she also told that it was not a real diamond. It was a cheaper, it was a cheaper version. It was just a replica of the real diamond necklace. And the story ended there. So that is the summary of the story The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. Now let us proceed to the characters. First, we have the character of Madame Loisel, or Mathilde Loisel. This character, this woman, is a very materialistic person. She has always been dreaming of luxury in her life, in which in reality they cannot afford to live such kind of life. And it led her to becoming a person who is not contented with everything that she has. As a result of not being contented with her life, she is an unhappy person. So she was always unhappy throughout her married life. And that's why she kept on dreaming of something more beautiful, more luxurious, and it led her to borrow that diamond necklace just to satisfy her materialistic personality. Next, we have the character of Mr. Loisel, the husband of Matilda Loisel. We have here a very helpful, loving husband, responsible and supportive, also caring. We can say that he is a supportive husband because he supported the needs, even the wants of his wife. It's just it just happened that he was not that wealthy person, but above all, he really tried. He attempted to satisfy the needs and the wants of his wife. He is responsible in such a way that with the little income that he has, he provides for his wife. And then with the little income that he has, he tries to make his wife happy and satisfied. Also supportive because even at the worst time, especially when they tried to replace and when they faced the consequence of paying their debts for 10 years, he was there with Matilde. He did not leave her, he did not also complain about her, and he did not say anything bad to her or did gestures that might add to the stress of Matilde. He was a support system to Matilde. And then we have the character of Madame Forrester. So Madame Forrester is a generous friend, optimistic, and also supportive. And You can see in the character of Madame Forrester that she's that kind of woman who is happy-go-lucky. When she accommodated Matilde at the time of borrowing the necklace, she was very accommodating, welcoming. She had a warm ambience and letting her friend to just choose whatever jewelry that she would want to borrow. And when the confrontation was done after 10 years, she was also that bubbly woman, and she would still be she was not she was not angry when Matilde confessed about the reality that her necklace was gone. So there was no angry reaction. In fact, she was shocked and she was concerned with Matilde that Matilde had to replace it with a real diamond necklace. So this is a very optimistic person, and the ambience that she has is very relaxing, very calming, such that you would not be pressured with this kind of woman. So that is the character of Madame Forrester. All right. So those are the characters. Now we proceed to the kind of plot in the story. The kind of plot in the story is a linear plot. This is a linear plot because the sequence of the story being told to us is told in a chronological order. So we were presented with the story when it began with the arrival of Mr. Loisel bringing the invitation letter for the ball, and then it progressed to the want of Madame Loisel for a dress and a jewelry, and then it proceeded to the sequence or the event of borrowing the necklace. And then finally, it led to the conflict or the problem where they lost the necklace and then they replaced the necklace, and they have confessed. She, specifically Matilde, confessed after 10 years. So it is told in a real linear plot, in a straight line storyline or story frame. That is the plot. Now we proceed to the third, which is elements of the plot. So under elements of the plot, we have exposition, we have conflict, we have climax, and we have denouement. So, as I have always mentioned in my analysis in the class, I have always mentioned that in order for you to identify the exposition or the beginning, you must identify first the main problem, the conflict in the story. What was the main problem in the story? And then from then, when you have identified that, it will be easier for you to trace the cause because you would treat that as an effect. So you would trace it backward and you will find the cause. Now, that cause will be the exposition or the beginning of the story. All right, so let us first identify the main problem in the story. The main problem in the story is that the necklace was lost. That is the root problem. The necklace was lost. It was gone accidentally. So that is the conflict. Now we trace it backward because we consider that as an effect. Now we trace that backward. What was the cause of that problem? Why was that certain problem created? Or why did that certain problem exist in the first place? So we can trace it to the desire to attend the ball. When they decided to attend the ball, it was then that eventually Matilde kept on wanting more than what she had. So she decided that she would attend the ball. And then she complained that she had no dress, then she had no jewelry. If she did not desire that, she wouldn't anymore want such materialistic things. And it wouldn't have led them to the problem of losing that necklace. If she were just contented with what she had, then no necklace will be borrowed, no necklace would be gone. But then, because of her desire to attend the ball, it leveled up to wanting for more. So that is our exposition of the story. Now we go to the climax of the story. So the climax of the story, this is when Madame Loisel and Mr. Loisel replaced the necklace successfully and suffered for years as a consequence. After having that conflict, they could have had so many other choices. They could have just confessed to Madame Forrester about what happened. Second, they could have just ignored it, or they could have just explained to her that they could not repay that because they had no means of repaying that. And of course, there was also the choice of replacing the necklace by all their means. Now they chose to actually replace the necklace. So that is our climax. When the couple decided to replace the necklace and then suffered for years. So how was this resolved? What is our denouement now? This was resolved when finally, after meeting Madame Forrester accidentally at the park after 10 years, Madame Loisel confessed what really happened 10 years ago. Because imagine, in the span of 10 years, she did not confess. She was just telling herself that I am proud of myself that we were able to replace the necklace no matter how expensive that was. So that was her pride. But she did not dare to confess to Madame Forrester of what really happened. So it's as if she was hiding it from Madame Forrester. So there was no there was no transparency between the two. And then Madame Forrester, from her end, did not also know that. Now, we consider this as a resolution or as a denouement because this now created a transparency line between all of what have happened between them. So when she confessed, it was also the time that she knew that she was mistaken because it was not a real diamond, it was just a replica. So it was only at that moment that she realized that she was wrong. So that was something that she could reflect. Now that is what we consider now the denouement. All right. Next, we go now to the conflict. So the kind of conflict we have here, we have an internal conflict and we also have an external conflict. So internal conflict, we have Madame Loisel versus herself. So it is Madame Loisel versus her materialistic self of not being contented, of not being happy, of wanting for things that she could not afford. And then it was also her versus herself versus her not confessing the truth to Madame Forrester. It was also her that really, really chose to suffer just to have that pride of replacing it, even if she had no means. So it's an internal conflict. For the external conflict, we have Madame Loisel versus her husband, Mr. Loisel. They had conflict during the exposition of the story, during the beginning of the story, in which Mr. Loisel expected her to be happy, but she was not happy. He expected her to be happy after having that kind of invitation, which was rare and difficult to get, but she was not happy. And then they also had conflict with the dress that she complained she did not have any dress, but Mr. Loisel insisted that he had a beautiful dress. And then the next was when she complained that she did not have any jewelry. So it was the external conflict. Now, next we have the setting. The setting happened in Paris. And then the point of view is third person limited. So it's a third person limited because we are not told of the thoughts and opinions, thoughts and feelings of Madame Forrester. So we can just have a glimpse of the thoughts, feelings of Madame Loisel, but not of Madame Forrester. Okay, next we proceed to the irony. So for the irony, there was not much of verbal irony, but there are for dramatic and for situational irony. For the dramatic irony, our dramatic irony here is when the character of Madame Forrester did not know that Matilde and her husband suffered for 10 years just to face the consequence of replacing the diamond, the replacing the necklace. And she also did not have any idea that her necklace was lost. But the readers knew this. The readers knew that the necklace was gone, and the readers also knew that the couple suffered just to face the consequence of replacing the necklace. And then for the situational irony, we have here the contentment. We have here the contentment. So for the contentment, we can juxtapose Forrester and Loisel, Madame Loisel. Madame Forrester had all of the wealth that she could have, but she was already contented. She did not care. She did not bother to check whether the necklace returned to her was still her necklace or was a different thing. And she also did not mind it when she knew from the confession of Madame Loisel that it was changed. All right, so you can see the contentment. It's like everything is fine with her. Whatever happens, it's fine for Madame Forrester. And for Madame Loisel, we can really see that the contentment was not there. She was not contented that she had no jewelry. She was not contented that she married Mr. Loisel, and she was also not contented just to say the truth and stick with the truth to Madame Forrester. She chose a different thing. All right. And then another situational irony is during the confession. During the confession, after 10 years, we expected that the reaction of Madame Forrester would be something that she would get mad because it's like she was lied to, she was not told of the truth, but look at what happened. Her reaction was, it's like she didn't mind. In fact, she was concerned with the looks of Matilde for looking like an old woman and not any more pretty. All right, so she had a different reaction. And then another situational irony is we expected Madame Forrester help, to be of help to Matilde or Madame Loisel, but what actually happened, it's like she became something that is a burden. So instead of making Madame Loisel happy for a moment, Madame Loisel now became so problematic for that span of time, for that long duration of years. All right? Therefore, we can also justify from that the verbal irony of Madame Loisel saying that it's you. The reason for me looking like this is because of you. It can now be labeled as verbal irony because we expected that it, it's it's not the fault of Madame Forrester to have Madame Loisel look like that, but she actually put the blame to Madame Forrester. All right. Next, we have the symbolism. So for the symbolism, we have the very obvious one, which is the necklace. The necklace symbolizes all of the material things that Madame Loisel wanted. All of the material things that Madame Loisel did not have. So she wanted it so bad, and she somehow she was able to get it, but at what cost? It cost her their sufferings for many years, right? So that is the symbolism. And then for the theme, we can have the theme here. First one, be contented with what you have. Third, first rather, be contented with what you have. Second, do not be materialistic. So we can see from the story that since Matilde or Madame Loisel was not contented with her life, look at what happened. She suffered a lot. So if she was just contented, if she did not anymore long for a jewelry or even the dress, she could have been happier. She could have been happier going to the ball as simple as she can, then going home without worrying about losing something that is not hers and that is worth so expensive. So she could have just left peacefully with her husband that night, and she could have lived the 10 years happier, right? But because she was greedy and she was not contented with her life, then it's as if the unhappiness was multiplied. It worsened. It's like she no longer had the room for any happiness or for any surprise in her life. So it's like problems kept arising. All right. So those are the elements of the story in the necklace. The story entitled The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant.